Alright, hello everybody, my name is Leslie Williams and I'm showing you my cell phone right now. It's 6:36 p.m. on 8/12/2013, and this right here is showing you a video picture of this tape recorder, and you can see that this is the month right here. The month is in the middle, 8. I'm trying to get the reflection out of the way so you can see this. 8 is in the middle, the date is here, 12, and the year is 13 here. That means it's August 12th, 2013. And this actual audio file started at 5:12. It's an hour long. This is the last 8 to 9 minutes concerning me leaving the UCSD Price Center, going outside to have a cigarette before I left, then ordering a BK stacker with ketchup, mustard, and pickle only, along with the small french fry. They had to be ordered separately because the girl forgot to put the french fries when I ordered the BK stacker, so I had to go and repurchase that on a separate order. Okay, I then left there, went and unlocked my bike, put my Burger King in my backpack, rode my bike to the bus stop, and on the way to the bus stop I said, let's see if I hear GangStalker. Once I get to the bus stop, you'll hear it being said on the bus. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the prediction video that I made at a specific area yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, I made a video prediction, and in that video prediction I showed my cell phone, which showed the date and the time. And in that video prediction, I predicted I would hear GangStalker along my route repeated around me. Now I want you to listen to this, and you be the judge. Do you hear it being said around me along with, oh my God? And do you hear it more than once? I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth concerning the factual realities of these organized stalking and gang stalking expeditions. Now, before I talk to you, before I transfer this segment of this audio file over from this tape recorder, the earbuds, okay, the earphones, okay, are taped right now to the video camera that I'm making this video in right now, from this tape recorder. I used some electrical tape, and what I did was, well, I guess I don't need to show it to you, but I used electrical tape to tape the earbuds together to put that on the microphone of the video camera that I'm literally taking this video picture of right now. And then I plugged it in to the earphones, plug of this tape recorder, and I turned it down to around volume level 18 or 19. What you're going to be listening for is girls that are sitting. There was 3 of them, 2 main ones who were doing it. They were saying gang stalking right in front of me, okay, and oh my God. Now, why is this being done, you might ask? Well, I'm going to tell you a story. In this story, I'm going to try and condense details as much as possible, but I'm going to explain the gist of the matter so you can get a pictorial representation in your mind concerning why it's being done, okay, and who's involved. Now, this story can be found online if you go to Google and type in the following: gang stalking, space, a girl raped with a sock shoved in her mouth. Just do it. And you're gonna eventually run across a story about how, as a result of this girl being a gang stalking target, and gang stalking is also called organized stalking, how the individuals that were involved in the organized stalking, gang stalking of her, had her raped. And as they were raping her, they shoved a sock in her mouth. Then what happened on the subsequent days after the rape, the individuals that were responsible for the rape and that person's friends and family got people along her routes on a daily basis everywhere she went to throw socks along her path to remind her about the rape. Now, whenever either it can be a boy, a little girl, a young man, an older man, a little, an adolescent female. It can be either a male or female at any age. Whenever any human being is raped, as the traumatization is occurring, they become disassociated. Their mind does, because what's happening to them is a traumatic event. Okay? Well, what these individuals do in gang stalking, because they've done their math, shoving the sock in this girl's mouth while she was being raped was deliberately and intentionally done because they knew what they were going to do towards her and around her every day along her routes after the rape was over. Throw socks along her path to remind her about it. Now, when she was being raped and the socks were shoved in her mouth, the socks became associated to a traumatic event. As a result, whenever she was reminded about the rape, because they not only threw socks along her routes to remind her about it, they also laughed and taunted her concerning it. As a result, she was reminded about this traumatic event every time the socks were represented to her along her routes. And these individuals that are responsible for these types of expeditions also have power positions in the community that can use either the offender notification illegally and criminally, or the offender's notification illegally and criminally, and that is a law enforcement tool. As a result, even the business community can be notified. It's usually 99% of the time combined with a slander campaign about the target, a totally innocent person. As a result, the business community can be brought on board to engage in specific harassment skits towards a target, including the same girl. So when she walks into like a store like a Walmart, and as she's either walking through the aisle by herself or whatever, the individuals that will work in the store will literally walk up to her with a package of socks and hand them to her and ask her if she forgot these socks. Because the socks are anchored in her memory to a traumatic event, and whenever they are represented to her, she is reminded about the event because the memory is stimulated as a result of the socks being associated to the traumatic event. And every time that memory is stimulated, she goes right back into the disassociated state. And this is one of the heinous methods and natures of gang stalking. Now, the individuals that they can solicit to harass a target in this way, like this girl, like on subsequent days, the individuals that they decide to solicit to throw socks along her path might not even know about the rape. They just have been told to get along her routes and to throw the socks along her route, and they could have been told anything else concerning the reason why they're being told to do it. They might not even know that she's been raped, but she knows. And every time she's represented with these socks in a taunting fashion, the memory of the rape is stimulated automatically. And then as a result, the mind becomes disassociated again, just like a Vietnam vet when he hears a helicopter flying in the air. He's brought right back to that day when he experienced a traumatic event over in Vietnam, when a helicopter was associated to possibly a bad firefight. Yes, their whole goal is to intentionally and with complete malice aforethought and criminal intent, create what is known as post-traumatic stress, and then stimulate the post-traumatic stress back into the conscious forefront for the mind, in order for the mind to experience a disassociated state on a daily basis non-stop, to keep them mentally preoccupied with the fact that they're being represented with what will stimulate their memory to a victimization that has happened to them. It's one of the most heinous crimes that a human being can experience. It's just like when a woman or a young man is raped and they possibly catch the perpetrator, the judge or the prosecutor would not want to put that rape victim back on the stand, because then the victim will have to relive the experience. That's exactly to a T what it's about. So what they're doing with me is getting along all my routes and putting duped community members in the community, students, business employees, business managers, business security guards, library patrons, library staff, even university staff, but people that get on my bus routes and will say gang stalker, gang stalking, gang stalk, oh my god, weird, crazy, gang stalk, oh my god, weird, crazy, gang stalk. And it's gotten so bad now to the point to where I have over 800 separate audio files of it being said around me in this way that you're about to hear right now. So you be the judge. Do you hear it being said around me on this bus? It's about an 8-minute audio file. You listen closely. Do you hear it? It's being said around me to remind me that I am a victim of this crime, to keep me mentally preoccupied concerning it, to make me feel stalked and harassed because of it, and to try and keep me in a mental neural loop in reference to the constant mental neural responses I have every time I hear it. And that's what they want. So listen. And these are UCSD students, and this occurred today on August 12th, 2013. I literally just got off the bus. Listen to it. Oh, and by the way, this is on an MTS bus. Go to YouTube and type in "Learning Disabled Woman Brutally Assaulted on an MTS Bus." That individual that was assaulting me had engaged in gang stalking on previous occasions, and then the San Diego police lied about it in the police report I finally got from them on July 24th, 2013. So you listen. You be the judge. Do you hear it? baby.
You'll be alright. Just hang in there. Do you know what today's date is? No, the date. The date. I know it's Monday. What's the date? Hey, you guys know today's date? The 12th? You sure it's not the 11th? She looks positive. Hey, can you speak? I see. Alright. You girls behave yourself at all times. Thank you.
Baby. Hi, honey. Okay, so just some statements in closing is that, I attended a well, it wasn't really a news conference, it was a rally today, downtown San Diego. If this video stops while I'm in the middle of talking, just look in the description of this YouTube video for a YouTube title. That YouTube video will be a continuation of this video. Now, I realize I'm just one person. I don't have no power in the community. I have no clout. I'm not in a power position. But I am a human being just like you are. And I had a lot of hopes and aspirations for my life. I was going to school to be an electrical engineer. I have a bachelor's equivalent in architectural drafting. I'm a smart woman, and I'm a good woman, And if you even sat in a room with me for an hour and knew what I have been through as a result of being a target of this crime, and you had power in a position and you weren't corrupt, power position, it's just, sometimes I get tongue-tied because of the criminality that is not only happening to me, but that is happening to my fellow targets. And not one of us can get any help because of the corruption that is in the system that protects these crimes in its at least form. I don't know if you can imagine what it would be like to have to live in a tent. Because if I was to run an apartment, look, this is the second hiking area I've been gang stalked to. What you just heard, I experience along all my routes every single day. It's their way to remind me that I'm a victim of this crime. Now, it's not stalking by gangs. It's nothing but organized crime in the system. People that have power positions that are basically, it's like an octopus with tentacles, okay? And what they basically do is connect with church groups, charities, fraternities, sororities, any type of organization, unions, and just get these dummies to get along my route to repeat these things to make me feel stalked because they got to know where I'm at to do it. And they also use people that look threatening, like they will use people that are all tattooed out. Some of them look like they're freaked out. And this is done to put a woman in a hyper-vigilant, hyper-mode state, to be concerned about their safety. That's one of the reasons why they have women assaulted. That's right, physically and sexually. And then they just continue the stalking to make a woman feel what's going to happen to me next. It's done to anchor fear and to keep you in a psychological traumatized effect on a daily basis. And this is why I do what I do, because just the stalking and this kind of harassment, let me tell you something. What they're doing around me every day, I don't care about. I've gotten to the point to where I've adapted. I don't care. Even though they still do it, it's not so much affecting me mentally, neurally, or emotionally, or psychologically. But the other aspects of my life that will continue to be torn down, and they will eventually go after my Social Security. I've been gang stalked in 4 separate Social Security offices in 2 different states at least. So whoever's doing this does have a power position in the community. So how can somebody just like me, I'm just an average person, just like you. I mean, I got teeth, I got hair, I got fingernails, I got skin. I had hopes for my life, and everything that I worked hard for over 15 years, going to school with learning disabilities, going to school so I can make something out of my life, has been totally taken from me in every way that you can think of. Now, if they got the ability to make a person homeless, housing inspectors, are they involved in gang stalking? Do they have the clout to intimidate and bribe property owners and landlords? And what about postal employees? Google gang stalking and postal employees, mail theft and mail delayment. Yes, are these the avenues that are in vehicles that are used to create the homelessness of targets, blacklisting them from employment? Staging vehicle accidents so we don't even have cars to sleep in. Putting us out on the street and having us gang stalked by freaks we do not know that look skanked out and freaked out. And their whole goal is to put you in a victimized mindset and to keep you there. Okay? My intention is to prove these crimes that are happening to me and to expose the power positions in the community who are not doing their job, so the public can become aware of what's happening to me. When I came back to this area tonight, and I'm going to say this in closing, I was thinking of one of those movies that I watched concerning the Navy SEALs going into Mexico. I forgot the name of the movie. And towards the end of it, they went into Mexico to go after a gang that was posing a threat to the United States. And when they got trapped in this building, one of the Marines, one of the Mexican cartel or whatever, It's a movie that came out in the last year and a half. Anyways, one of these Marines, he saw that a Mexican guy threw a grenade into the room that these Marines were in, and there was no way for them to get out in time. So this one Marine, he threw himself on top of the grenade, and he sacrificed his life to save his fellow comrades. Now look, you can't imagine the horrific craziness that I live in on a daily basis. You just, unless you're living in it, you can't imagine it. Okay? So I look at this and I think to myself, I know what's happened to me. I know what's already happened to me, and I know the aspirations and motivations they still have for me. And I have money right now. Can you imagine what they're doing to the young men and women that don't have money, that don't have a regular income? Can you imagine what they're doing to them? Because my tape recorder and my video camera keeps them at bay. They literally set up freaks to hike out 200 feet away from me who yell gang-stalking from a distance on a nightly basis. Yeah. You know, the only thing I can do is tell you the truth. And I don't know if any reporter is ever going to take my story and honestly publish it without editing the hell out of it, or possibly even making me appear to look crazy. I'm not saying that they would do that. But all I know is that these women who have filed sexual allegations against Filner are all over the news, and I can't even be covered. I can't get 1 minute of news coverage. And that's okay. Because there is one thing about me that San Diego will eventually become familiar with, is that I will never stop ever until the San Diego police are exposed for what they are, in reference to how they are connected to these crimes and the assault that occurred towards me on a MTS bus on October 10th, 2011, and then the factual reality that MTS had the audacity to send me an altered video. I will never stop, ever. And if I got to continue to do this alone, then so be it. Because I know that what's happening to me is wrong. And I know you, being a person just like me, would not want this to happen to you. And in closing, I'm going to make one last statement. Do you have any idea what happens to the children of targeted individuals? I do what I do to inform, to expose the truth. I thank you for listening, and have a nice day.